Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. We are going to code Emacs Lisp today. So this is for you people who use Emacs and who like to learn about Emacs Lisp. So let's begin. If you are watching this offline, play at 1.5 speed. If you are watching this live, say hi. Okay, we're gonna code one command called lookup-grokipedia. That's one thing to do. The other thing I'm gonna demonstrate is go-to-char and go-to-line. That will go to a character in a next pane. Okay, so for example, go to a character, the line number or the position under the cursor in the other pane. For example, if you are coding something and you got error, so error at line number, let's say 29, 39. Okay, so if you are coding here something and you compile or run it and you got error, then you want to jump to line number 39. So you press, I believe it's this key, there it is. Wait, okay, wait, that's not the one. What's the key? Press, describe P, press. That is go to line. Okay, so go to line 39. Oh, there's something I need to fix. But anyway, it's supposed to jump to line 39 in the next pane. So somewhere here. Okay, here. So anyway, so go to line number, go to line number, go to line or go to char. So that's a two command I'm gonna show you and fix it. So first of all, we're gonna write Grokipedia. Hello NASA. So Grokipedia, if you don't know, it's like Wikipedia. It's created by Elon Musk. It began about a week ago. So there is a Grokipedia right now. So let me show you. So actually, we're just gonna start to write the command. Okay. So Emacs Lisp, still define a function and show the pink window. The pink window shows all my command calls and the keystroke on the left. I'm using a Vora keyboard and I'm using Xafly keys. Let me demonstrate again. Xafly keys, let me show you if you haven't seen it already. So Xafly keys is the most efficient editing system in the universe, more efficient than Vim or NeoVim. But it's for Emacs, okay? It's like modal, just like Vim, but it's more efficient design based on frequency of the command name calls and the ease of the finger. So you can see this is a home page of Xafly keys, and there's a video introduction. There's like tens of videos in past 5 years, and you can look at it. Here is the actual cheat sheet diagram for the keys. So you don't have to press Control. Like you almost never have to press Control or the meta key or the Alt key. So it's just like Vim, but it's more efficient. Okay, you can measure that scientifically by counting your keystrokes. For example, if you go to the Vim Golf, there's a website kind of like who can type the shortest number of keystrokes to do something. This is for mostly for coders, programmers. Okay. So Xafly keys, if you have not tried it already, try it. That's one of my best work in my life. Okay, it's on GitHub for Emacs users. Okay, so that's Xafly keys. Copy the file path, close, and put this back, and let's just link Xafly keys. Now go back to the code. We're gonna write a command called xa. What is the command name? Grokipedia. Okay, look up Grokipedia. Copy, go back here, paste it. Okay, look up Grokipedia of current word, the word under cursor. Okay, created today's date, version number, today's date, and we can start to write it. The first job is grab the current word. So let me tell you guys what is Grokipedia, the nature. Okay, so Elon Musk, the world's richest guy who created Grokipedia, and the beta version came out last week. In fact, we can just go to it. So for example, let's select just that word and look up the web. Wait, press, XAR lookup web. That's one of my packages. So let me show you that. Okay, so wait, put it back. Now, describe key, look at the pink window. You'll see my command call names. And describe key, press. So you can see if I press those keys, it's gonna call XAR lookup web. Okay, now jump to the source code. There is a source code for XAR lookup web. It's very short, 10 lines of code or just 5 lines of code. So, and we're gonna write that for Wikipedia. So if you look at this package, this is my package. You can go to the home page, that URL, open it. XAR lookup web. Okay, so you can look up Google, specific search engine, Google, Yandex, Baidu, that's for Chinese, when you want to look up some Chinese characters in China. So there's lookup Twitter, when you want to search the vast amount of information on Twitter. Twitter is very rich with information, of some special kind, different type. So that's my Twitter. Follow me, XAR_Lee. Okay. So today's talk show, so I announced on Twitter. So why do white men use their hands to eat food? It's so unhygienic. In the past few months, people are the white people are making fun of Indians, all sorts of Indians. They kind of poor, so, but this is very fun video. She is not poor. You can see their attire. They are like elite class or something. So, but it's cultural tradition, kind of habit, where Indians use their food to eat. In Sioso. Anyway, that's digression. Okay, it's just something fun. So my Twitter. Okay, so you can look up Twitter. You can look up Google. Look up Yandex. That's when you want something of Russian interest, because different search engines, then they censor different things. Now Google in America, what kind of things it censor. Now if you want to search for certain things, especially if you like Russian related information, then you might want to use Yandex. Especially if you search for girls, Yandex will return uncensored information like pictures. But Google, that's a different story. Okay, so you can search Baidu, you can search Twitter, you can search Google Street Map, you can search images via Google, or you can set up a different URL to search images. You can look up YouTube. Just search. For example, let's search for XAR Lee. Okay, so for example. Wait, copy that, look up, that's that page, and paste on today's talk show. Let's just paste the link so you could look up. So let's search for XAR Lee. Okay, now I don't remember what is the key, so let's just call the command. XAR lookup YouTube. Space HU. Okay, cancel. Space HU. There it is. Actually, Lee, you just search for Lee. So actually, if you put the cursor at the beginning of the line, it will search the entire line. So space HU. There it is. Google YouTube results. You can see my videos today and yesterday. This one, yesterday. And, by now I have like 400 videos or 300. Oh, keyboard. Beautiful hour. Fantastic. And I'm not dead yet. That's a bad situation. Anyway, so That's demonstration of that command. Look up YouTube and look up Wikipedia, look up Internet Archive, or look up word definition, or look up synonyms, or look up dictionary org, a specific dictionary. Or you can look up Wiktionary, or etymology, or Chinese character definition. So all these, you just press a key. For example, let me show you. Press, and press that key, and you can see all the commands in their keystrokes. The backspace key you see there is right under my hand, under my left thumb. Okay, so you can press space, or start with backspace, same thing. That's my custom setup. Okay, so this package provide all that, so you don't have to go to a space. You can just press a few keys and find what you want. Today, we're gonna write look up Grokipedia. So what is Grokipedia? What is the nature of Grokipedia? So you got all these websites, Wikipedia. But Wikipedia became corrupted in the past 10 years. When you look up any information that is power sensitive, also known as politically sensitive, involving power. For example, if you look up on election, on Trump, on social justice warriors, on trans issue, on men in women's bathroom, if you look up on gun, on gay, on that's American thing. You look up those things, they will have fake news. Okay, and also when you look up on China, and today Venezuela, a country who's got the biggest oil in the world on earth, more than Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, and Trump is like doing things to them. So you look up all these issues, current event, or the other wars going on, or the people, different people in different countries. As long as they are in the current news, what you get on Wikipedia is fake news. Okay, especially also if you look up on Elon Musk, if you look up on besides Trump, Biden, or any of the political figures, if you look up on any like popular political commentators or activists, what you get is fake news. Beginning about 15 years ago, let's say 2012, something like that. Okay, in some cases, extreme fake news. And also on China, of course, because China, Trump has been saying China since 2016. Why? Because China has become powerful. That is why. So when you look up China, you'll get lots of fake news. Or World War II, or certain country in World War II, it's all fake news. Okay, actually to some degree. Okay, the important thing is to some degree. Of course, when it comes to propaganda, it does not imply 100% fake news. Propaganda, the best propaganda is actually, they report it with a twist, with a certain perspective. That's how effective propaganda works. Or they just show you certain, they so-called, according to white men, that they say cherry pick. Every day on Twitter, the algorithm show you certain things, but other things they never show you. Okay, so all those are considered propaganda. In other words, propaganda is like academic mumbo-jumbo jargon. In other words, they just influence your thought. Okay, so Wikipedia became fake news since past 10 years or so. So Elon Musk, the richest guy, he has a thought. He said, we're gonna write Wikipedia, the entire Wikipedia. They call it Grokipedia, based on AI. Because today AI is becoming amazing. So they just gonna generate an entire encyclopedia in one day. That's what they did. Okay, so now it's available online. In fact, let's look up some, let's say, controversial topic. There's gun control, there's abortion, there is different abortion organizations, there's lots of political money organizations. What should we look up? We need some example that's simple and everyone understand. Well, let's look up, so what's some examples? And you can look up censorship, so or you can look up Gamergate. Okay, that Gamergate is one of the one of the big event that influenced USA culture and politics in past 15 years. Okay, so Gamergate is one of the sensitive topic. So you can look up Wikipedia. Wikipedia, okay? Let's do that. So there. So you got one version of information. It begins, Gamergate or GG was a loosely organized misogynistic online harassment campaign motivated by a right-wing backlash against feminism, diversity, and progressivism in video game culture. Okay, that's an introductory sentence. So it's about loosely organized misogynistic something. Okay, so that's Wikipedia say. Now Grokipedia, okay. So I don't have Grokipedia. This command is not written yet, so we have to go to Grokipedia first. So go to Grokipedia, go to it, press that key to go to it, okay. Okay, then type Gamergate. Okay, you need to turn on JavaScript. Dark mode, fuck dark mode. Okay, now Gamergate. Let's go to it. So there's many articles. Gamergate Ant, GG, Zoe Queen, Anita Sarkeesian, Brianna Wu, or Brian something. Okay, there's those are the main characters. Okay, so let's click on Gamergate. So Gamergate says, Gamergate was a grassroots online movement that emerged in August 2014, primarily focused on exposing conflicts of interest and lack of transparency in video game journalism. Initiated by a blog post detailing the romantic involvement of indie developer Zoe Queen with journalists who covered her work without disclosure. So you see, so Zoe Queen slept with some writer who published talk about games. So they slept together. Then other people exposed it. So Gamergate was a grassroots online movement that emerged this way. Okay, exposing the conflict of interest. That's what Grokipedia says. Compare Wikipedia. Gamergate was a loosely organized misogynistic online harassment campaign motivated by a right-wing backlash against feminism, diversity. Okay, so you see their take is sharply in contrast. So that is why I like to have look up Grokipedia. Okay, so that's on political sensitive topics. Grokipedia is very different from Wikipedia, and that is the reason Grokipedia exists. Okay, that is a stated goal to, according to Elon Musk, provide the truth. Okay, now, however, Wikipedia covers lots of things, including non-political sensitive topics such as programming, mathematics, chemistry, physics, engineering, like tons. So on those topics, I've done review. If you follow my Twitter, you might know. So let's go to my Twitter. Let's search Xali. So let's search Xali. Oh, yeah, you need to click on here. Then search Xali. What do you want to search? Oh, Grokipedia. So I did a review, beginning review on technical topics, Grokipedia, on physics, on mathematics, computer science. So it turns out Grokipedia on these topics is basically a copy of Wikipedia, but without any illustration, without interconnection, interlinks, basically just a plain text version of Wikipedia, word for word. When you look up anything on physics, math topics, or programming languages, okay? So in that regard, Grokipedia is not good because especially when you study math, you need illustrations, you need the interlinks because so many jargons you forgot. Okay, so Grokipedia is not good. For now, it's basically not good. It's the same thing as Wikipedia, but even without pictures. But for political topics, Grokipedia is better, okay? So that is an introduction to Grokipedia and why it's there, okay? And now let's just write up a lookup Grokipedia. So first of all, what we need to do is grab the current word. So let's see comments. Don't forget Cold War, the fakest. That's questionable take. Okay, I don't know about that. Well, I mean, yeah, okay, let's not digress into that. So, okay, so wait, so, okay, so let's see. Hi, hi. Are you not using a multi-keyboard setup anymore? Is the new keyboard that good? Okay, so this is about the Ultimate Hacking Keyboard 80, which is what I'm using. So a week ago, I did a 1 hour in-depth review of Ultimate Hacking Keyboard 80 on YouTube. So you just go back 1 week, you'll find it. So why am I not using multiple? Because for one reason, you don't need it. Because this one is got 80 keys, then plus the key cluster, then I got several mouse and trackballs. Can you guys see it? Let's show. Okay, Ultimate Hacking Keyboard 80. Check my review, okay, last week, in depth. And cheers. This is red wine and pomegranate juice mix. The other reason I'm just using one is because it turns out if you have two Ultimate Hacking Keyboard, and if you want to use the UHK agent, which is the greatest software for keyboard, for customizing keyboard, they only allow one. So if you want to run, you can have multiple Ultimate Hacking Keyboard at the same time, plug-in or this one wireless, However, if you want to run the software to change some keys, they say, you have multiple UHK plug-in, it only allow one at a time. So when you have multiple UHK keyboard plug-in, it's, this won't start. So it's kind of annoying. So I just remove it. And I don't need it because the Ultimate Hacking Keyboard is, watch my review because it got so many modifiers and, I don't need it. So anyway, back to the code. So first thing you want to do, so let's get back to let's get back to the code, Emacs Lisp, okay? So we want to grab the current word, okay? Let's just get this to work quickly, okay? So current word, okay, so word, okay, so this is a local variable x word, and this command current word will grab the word under cursor, okay? Then you just look up, okay? So then you just look up the URL. So Grokipedia, you need to find what is the URL. So okay, this is Wikipedia. Let's go Grokipedia. So go back. So copy the URL, paste. So this is the format of the URL. Okay, so you got the current word x URL and set x URL equals to that, basically that string, and that concat x word. Okay, so you need concat that into one string, okay, and cut it, and that's the URL. Prettify the code. Okay, so you got the URL, you got the word, then you just browse URL. That's a command that lets you browse the URL, and you just type the URL here, okay? Prettify the code, that's it. I think that's it, the command. So let's evaluate the buffer so Emacs know the command. You can see. So now just put it back, syntax correct, showing browser. Fantastic, we got our code. Now let's look up Gamergate. Okay, so look up Grokipedia. Do it. There it is. Beautiful. Now let's look up another word. Okay, let's say China. Do it. China. Okay, so now there's an issue. Okay, so when you do it this way, it returns a list of items. Can we like try to just go to an article directly? So what if you have some page that's not available? Okay, so for example, that's valid. What if you have some XYZ? Okay, what happens there? So go to the URL. So it just says doesn't exist. Okay. So the question is, should you use which one is more convenient? If you do the search, like, if you do the search way, like search question mark Q equals true, then you arrive at a page that's list of list of entries. But if you go to a page directly, then for now, let's just use the search, like what we have. Okay, just what we have. Okay, that's one command done. Anything else? Is it interesting? How did you transform the string current word in to its function form with arguments? It'll just grab the word. Okay, so this is a function. For example, we can call it here. Let's say something. Okay, now meta x current word. Now that's not a function. Okay, so you cannot call it. You cannot call this function interactively current word because it's not a command. It's just a function. So it takes two optional arguments, strict and really word, which basically is about whether hyphen or underscore is considered part of the word, something related to that. Okay, so you don't really care. For us, we don't care. So basically consider it as a function without any argument. Okay, so what it return is whatever just the word under the cursor. Like if the cursor is here, you just return the word return, like that. Okay, how do we know? Can we try it? Yes, let me show you. Okay, so for example, copy this line, then put the cursor, let's say here. Okay, now let's call eval expression. Okay, that allows you to evaluate a eLisp expression. Okay, do it, and now type your expression. Let's say, okay, so just current word. Okay, do it. You see at the bottom it says otherwise, a string. So it basically just return that string. Okay, let's do it again. Let's put this under here anywhere. Call it eval expression, and the last expression current word. Do it. It return anywhere. Go to the messages buffer. Can you see? Can you see? Okay, so that's the function current word. It just return the current word. Close it. Okay, so and that's it for our command. Now I just gonna, so for you guys watching this, you can just copy it, put in your Emacs in it, you'll have it. Okay, but for me, I'm gonna copy it and put into my char lookup, packages, and then give it a key. Okay, so that's it for that. Now, what's the other command? So char go-to-char go-to-line. Let me fix that. Okay, so describe key. Wait. So go-to-char describe key space tg on vorac layout. Okay, so go to line, go to the source code. There it is, char go to line. There is one error I need to fix. Okay, here. So instead of go to char, it should be go to line. That's it. Okay. Now evaluate the code. Okay. Now split the window. Now new buffer. Now let's say line 200. Okay. 200. Okay. Now call the command. It will go to, let's say error. Let's say compile error. You have something bad at line 200. When you do something, it says that. So move the cursor to the 200 and then call char go to line. Do it. There it is. You see, it moves right to the line 200. Okay, so that's why this command is useful. You don't have to type 200. Okay, but if you want to go to, let's say you want to go to line 500, you can do so by call the command go to line. It says no number under cursor, go to position. So you type 500, enter, there you are. Okay, so this is a generalized command. It generalized the built-in go to line, and the other one is go to char. So similarly, you can, so it's generalized, fantastic, and it's part of the Xafly keys. Okay, I showed you before, so you can download it. It's the most efficient key binding system. By now, it's 4,000 lines of code. Okay, get that, use that. Tell your friends. Okay, like my YouTube, like my post. Okay, stuff. Okay, showing browser. So we demonstrated go-to-char, go-to-line, new in Softlight keys, fantastic. And I think that's it for today. Any questions? Did I answer the questions? ACP Junior. So no more questions. You use Brave Search in a Firefox browser. I don't know why, but it's kind of strange. Okay. Well, that's the reason for that is because I use multiple browsers. So you can see I'm using Google Chrome here for everything that has to do with Google, such as YouTube, where you need to log in. You need to have a Google account. So only for Google related websites, I use Google Chrome, nothing else, because Google has been very corrupted. Okay, Google Chrome. Brave is, I use it basically just for Twitter. Okay, Brave has automatic ad blocker, among other things. Okay, Brave. Now, Firefox, I use mostly for my dev. For example, you go around, right now there are about like 2,000 tabs open. They are all Xali websites, okay, like 2,000 tabs. So how can you tell how many tabs you have? Well, you have to do, but anyway, so you can see, I can show you. So it's all my websites. I have a total of like 10,000 articles written in the past 25 years. So when I work on Emacs, on Emacs Lisp, on Wolfram language, on whatever, AutoHotkey, XR Talk Show, universal argument in Emacs Lisp, and, so lots of things, including my political commentaries. Death of a Troll, a famous online guy, Python doc problems, so they are 1,000 tabs, but there's no easy way to show how many tabs there are. You have to select all, then try to close, then you'll say how many tabs, like very inconvenient. I learned it from asking AI. You just ask AI, how do you know how many tabs you have open in Firefox? AI will tell you, but there's no easy way. Okay, so anyway, so Firefox, I use it mostly to do dev on my websites. Okay, so and the question, why do I use multiple browsers? I answered many times, like since 20 years ago, for lots of reasons. I always use multiple browsers since like 1997. So almost always 3 browsers minimum. At some period of years, there's 4 or 5, because back then you got, there's lots of, they come and go. There's also Opera. There's also today Microsoft Edge browser, many variety and many. Okay, so there's a video talk show where I explicitly explain why do I use multiple browsers, like maybe 5 months ago on YouTube. Okay, just search for why do you Xali multiple browsers. The Brave search will probably tell you. The AI will tell you and give you the article. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Sorry, I was not clear. I meant that you typed current word, then transformed it to current word TT somehow. Oh, that's part of the XR Emacs Lisp mode. Okay, so let's see. Emacs Lisp, okay, pop it out so you can see XR Emacs mode. Okay, or put it back, delete that, new buffer. Now, right now it's XR HTML mode. So how do you know? Describe variable. Wait, let's show the ping window. Okay, now call describe variable and say major mode. That is a variable whose value is the current major mode. Okay, do it. Then you say, it says major mode is a variable defined in C source code. Its value is XHTML mode. Okay, so close that. So that tells you right now in this buffer is XHTML. So now let's switch it to XAR eList mode. Okay, do it. Now I press D, space, it became different, space, it became the full template. What about current word? So current word, do I have a abbreviation? No. Oh, I do actually. So press enter, it became current word. Press enter again. Wait. So press return, then it became the full template. So I think that answers your question. So if you want that, you can pay me and get XAR eList mode. Okay. Describe function XAR eList mode. There it is. Open, make it full window. Jump to the source code. Expand the window. Go to the bottom. 2,000 lines of code. Go to the top and go to the homepage URL. Open it. Show in browser. XAR Emacs Lisp mode. And if you click, go to back to XAR Emacs packages. So you can see all my packages. Or over here, source code, jump to the directory. So, and hide the permission and all that. And delete the backup. Delete them. Yes. Okay, so you can see all my packages I wrote in the past 20 years. It used to be free for like 10 years, but then people don't give a fuck. These open source fanatical fuckheads, they don't give a fuck. And then I was dying of hunger around 2012. So today they are not free. You click it, get it by donation. Go to PayPal, pay me $32. I send it to you. I email it to you, and it's open source. I don't make money out of this, so but it's just a gesture. Okay, if you like it, send me some money. I send it to you, because when it's open source, anyone can republish it. You can, you pay $32, you get it, then you put on GitHub. Open source, that's legally allowed. Then you make some tricks, then you put it on MailPower or whatever. Then basically you took over. Okay, that's the nature of open source. Very harmful, actually. It turns out, So 30 years ago, I was a fanatic of Richard Stallman's Free Software Foundation, but it's very bad. I don't support it since like 15 years ago. It's in fact very harmful. So why are my code still open source? Well, partly because Emacs environment, Emacs itself is the Richard Stallman's baby, and the whole Emacs is open source. It's actually not open source. It's free software, so-called, according to Richard Stallman, because he and open source, there's a big war. If you say, Richard Stallman, thank you for open source, he gets very angry. It's on video. He say, go fuck yourself. There's two fighting camps. But today's Zoomers, today's people, they don't know a thing. It's all being bought out and forgotten. The Zoomers' brain got washed. They don't know a thing. So Richard Stallman, so basically Emacs environment, it's all open source. So that's kind of why it doesn't make, it's not, it doesn't feel right. If I, the whole thing in Emacs Lisp, I say it's not open source. So, and also, there's no way. There's no way to sell it. Like if I make it closed source and you bought it, in what form do I give you the file? It's just the source code. Or I can byte compile it, but byte compile it doesn't do much, like press B to byte compile. You can decompile it, right? So, but I do have the legal claim that it is not open source or free software. So if you actually publish it, then you are committing a crime. But in practice, nobody give a fuck, like the value is not that great. So anyway, unless you are Google, then you can do something like Google, Facebook. They are all doing that, the idiotic open source and free software idiots. They've been brainwashed to a degree they don't know. So that's the situation today. Okay, that's it. That's it for today, I think. Close that. F# mod. I'm learning F#, so I just started the mode, but it's not good. So, but on the other hand, my Emacs Lisp mode and my HTML and many others, I've been coding them for over 10 years, so it's very good. Better than GNU, better than whatever you have in default Emacs. In fact, better than any Malpa, the very popular, million downloads, HTML mode or whatever, the Emacs Lisp or enhancement or whatever, company mod, million, 2 billion, trillion downloads. Mine is better than them. Technically superior in speed, in functionality, in correctness, and in speed, functionality, correctness, in feature reach, so anyway, so you have to pay me to get it. Meanwhile, just go use Xafly keys, okay, because that's a mothership and it's free. You can use it. Okay, that's it for today. So if you like my stuff, you know where to pay me. Go to xali.info homepage without S in HTTP, no S. Then go to the bottom, then pay me, Patreon me, Amazon gift card, PayPal me, okay? Okay, that's it. So what is this page? Close, show in browser. That's it for today. Bye, guys.